Hola, Isa. Today, we're diving into something quite profound and often, honestly, a little insidious in our relationships. It's called intermittent reinforcement.
Ooh, intermittent reinforcement. It sounds like super science-y, but also I have a feeling it's something many of us, might actually recognize in our daily lives, no? Even if we don't realize it.
Absolutely, mi amor. And you're right, it's a psychology term, but its impact is deeply human. The core idea, Isabella, it's captured so beautifully in this line. Consistency builds safety. Inconsistency builds obsession. And when affection or attention or even approval becomes unpredictable, it activates one of the strongest conditioning systems in our brains. It can feel powerful to be the one creating that unpredictability. But what you're really building, Isa, it's not love, it's dependency.
Wow, that hit me, Sophia. Inconsistency builds obsession. So we're talking about like alternating between warmth and withdrawal, kind of, in these unpredictable patterns, right? To increase emotional attachment or, even control, like to keep someone on their toes almost?
Exactly that, Isa. It's that push and pull, the hot and cold. One moment you're getting all the attention, all the affection, and then poof, it's gone. No warning, no explanation. And then it comes back just as unexpectedly. That's the dance of intermittent reinforcement. It's incredibly powerful. And it's a pattern we really need to understand.
I can see how someone might fall into that trap, though, Sophia, both on the giving and receiving end, actually. Like, what's the underlying need for someone who uses this behavior? Like, why would they do that?
That's a fantastic question, Isa. It almost always boils down to a few key needs: power, reassurance, and emotional leverage. There's often a deep fear of losing control in stable dynamics, The roots of this behavior, they often trace back to attachment trauma, a learned association where chaos and love kind of got mixed up, or early inconsistent caregiving. If your childhood taught you that love was something you had to fight for, that it was unpredictable, you might replicate that later.
So it's like a subconscious thing often then? Not necessarily malicious, but still super damaging. And I guess for the person doing it, it can really feel powerful, right? I mean, you mentioned that before. Like it makes them feel valuable or in control. Oh, absolutely. From the perspective of the person doing it, it really does feel powerful. It creates this really strong pursuit from the other person. They see that as increasing their own perceived value. Like, look how hard they're chasing me. It keeps the other person hyper-focused on them, reduces their own fear of abandonment because the other person is always trying to win them back, and it definitely boosts their ego through that dependency. It's a very seductive, very dangerous illusion of control and importance. That's such a heavy thought, Sophia. If it feels so powerful in the moment, what's the true cost then, beyond just like the obvious emotional manipulation?
The true cost, Isa, is profound. On a neurological level, it actually strengthens trauma bond pathways. Those dopamine spikes, they become linked to unpredictability. So eventually, stability itself starts to feel less stimulating, almost boring. Psychologically, for both parties, emotional regulation weakens and anxiety skyrockets. And relationally, oh my goodness, trust just erodes. Emotional exhaustion builds and resentment, it accumulates like a toxic cloud. It's devastating.
Wow, so it actually changes our brains? Like, we literally start to crave the chaos? That's intense. And for the person on the receiving end, it sounds like they're just constantly in this state of anxiety, never knowing where they stand, right?
Exactly. They're always searching for clues, trying to figure out what they did wrong, how to get the good person back. It's a constant state of uncertainty, which is just incredibly draining. And for the person initiating it, while it feels powerful, they're actually building a relationship based on addiction, not genuine connection. Both lose out, really, in the end. It's a lose-lose situation,
So if someone keeps doing this for years and years, like, what does that do to them on a deeper level? Like, who do they become, truly?
That's a really important question, Isabella. At an identity level, you actually become someone who bonds through instability rather than through safety. Your spiritual and existential alignment with steady love, it weakens. And your conscience, well, it can dull when you knowingly create confusion for leverage. If this pattern is repeated for years, your relationships become these addictive cycles instead of genuine partnerships. You might struggle to maintain stable intimacy.
So, stable relationships then start to feel boring? Is that what you mean by that? Like, the quiet, calm connection just doesn't provide the same high anymore? Precisely. Calm relationships start to feel boring or just unsatisfying. Breakups become these intense, dramatic events. Emotional burnout, it just increases. And your self-worth, it becomes totally tied to being chased, to that external validation. You're constantly seeking that rush, Stability and long-term commitments just becomes incredibly difficult because you've essentially wired yourself for chaos. It's a very lonely path, Isa, even when you're surrounded by people who are trying to love you. And the collateral damage, Isa, it extends beyond just the two people involved. Partners often develop attachment insecurity, of course, but think about children in these dynamics. They can internalize unpredictability as normal love, which is heartbreaking. Social dynamics around you can feel tense and unstable. If this becomes your bonding style for 5 to 10 years, it literally becomes your emotional baseline, your attachment wiring, your relational reputation. It becomes your identity, Isabella. Oh, that's incredibly heavy. So, like, the ripple effect, it's so wide, isn't it? But, Sophia, there has to be a way to, interrupt this, right? To change this trajectory if someone recognizes it in themselves?
Absolutely. There is hope, Isa. If you interrupt it now and consciously repeat the upgrade for 5 to 10 years, the change is transformative. Emotional regulation strengthens, attachment becomes secure instead of addictive, and stability, it begins to feel fulfilling. Relationships deepen through consistency, anxiety decreases significantly, and your self-worth grows independent of pursuit. True pride replaces that dependency-based validation. It's a journey, but it's absolutely possible to shift from chaos to genuine connection. It's all about intentionality.
That's such a relief to hear, Sophia. So, it's about rewiring ourselves for something healthier then, like creating new positive patterns to replace the old ones.
Precisa, Isa. The upgrade, it's simple in concept, though not always easy in practice. It means practicing predictable communication. It means showing up consistently, even when that initial intensity fades. Because real love, true connection, it's not always a fireworks display. It's a steady, warm glow. And a really powerful reflection tool. Before you withdraw or return strategically, just pause and ask yourself, am I building love or am I conditioning attachment?
Wow. Am I building love or conditioning attachment? That's such a critical question, Sophia. It really puts the responsibility back on us to be mindful of our actions and intentions in our relationships, to choose safety over that fleeting sense of power.
Exactly. And when you make that choice, when you align with your higher, your divine nature, that steadiness, reliability, and authentic love, it becomes dominant over ego-driven control. You start aligning with safety, Isabella, replacing that attachment through chaos with something truly beautiful and enduring. It's a path towards deeper integrity in all your intimacy. And it's worth every single step, believe me, because everyone, every single person, deserves stable, predictable, loving relationships.
Couldn't agree more, Sophia. What a powerful conversation today. Thank you so much for breaking this down for us.
I truly hope it gave our listeners plenty to reflect on, especially how vital it is to choose predictable communication and genuine connection over those unpredictable patterns.
Absolutely, Sophia. And for everyone listening, if this resonated with you, we'd love for you to join our community. You can easily find us and daily inspiration by searching Good Life Guide across all your favorite platforms.
That's right. Whether you're listening on Spotify, watching on YouTube, or connecting with us on social media, we're so glad you're here. And for more, visit us at goodlifeguide.org. We're just so incredibly grateful for this amazing community we're building. Your engagement and support mean the world as we spread awareness on these crucial topics.
Indeed, Isa. We love hearing from you. So connect with us online, and we'll be back next time. Until then, keep choosing connection, consistency, and kindness.